clouds. Like I was saying, these aren't no ordinary clouds, they're a very specific type of cloud, right? They form in the mesosphere, which is way, way up in the atmosphere. We're practically in space now at that stage, you know? And they literally glow in the dark. They're what I would call another form of aurora. Do you know where you have aurora in the sky certain times of the decade or the year? You know, these are like the counterparts to them, you know? So, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about altitude-wise here, your clouds form a few hundred, few thousand feet, maybe a few hundred meters, or a few thousand meters up maybe. Airliners go at around 10 kilometers, give or take, right? That's a cruise altitude. Not Lucent clouds are between 75 and 85 kilometers up. They're 55 miles up in the sky, right? To give you an idea of what we're talking about there, I mean, so say 80 kilometers, right? The ISS is only 278 kilometers at its lowest point, so 350 on average. The shuttle goes between 340 and 600 kilometers. Hubble is at 590 kilometers. And this is all very nearby because the moon does give you a perspective of interstellar, well, distances, I suppose, not interstellar type, but in the solar system distances. You're talking 386,000 kilometers to the moon. So all this stuff is very nearby, right? And it's this glowing iridescent cloud. It's fantastic. And it changes shape like real cloud, you know? And unlike real cloud, you can still see the stars, so it's great. Okay, but it really does hug the northern horizon. Okay, you won't see it anywhere else in the sky. Maybe a bit higher up than the horizon, but it's always towards the north, basically, right? Or maybe northeast or northwest. The north, basically, where you want to go.
What time of the day are the evenings?
If you're hunting these guys down, you want to start at 11:30, right? As soon as this time of the year, that's another thing I'll get to in a minute. There's a certain time of the year you see these. You will not see them in December or January. You only see these this time of year, okay? Which means you have to hunt them down basically at a certain time of the night. So anytime between 11:30 and sunrise, between sunset and sunrise, when it's not too bright, you know. You see there's a bit of an orange glow on the horizon there? If we use a mouse, there's a bit of an orange glow along the horizon here. That's the sun causing that glow. You know this time of the year, it doesn't get very dark at midnight. That's the northern sunset glow, you know. So the sky is bright, but it's not particularly dark neither, you know. The great thing with these clouds with twisty filaments and the rows and the ripples are fantastic, you know.
What's the composition?
What are they made of?
Yeah.
That's dust, basically, right? One theory is that they're made out of the meteorite dust. You have all these micrometeorites entering the atmosphere, right? Burning up 180 kilometers up, yeah? These gather ice. The ice forms on this dust, and when the sun is at a very particular angle, it reflects off them, and you can see them. Otherwise, you don't see it at all. Do you know what I mean? That's one theory. Another theory is volcanic dust in the upper atmosphere might cause them as well to be more prolific, you know. Basically, pollution in the upper atmosphere causes it, whether it comes from space or from ourselves or from volcanoes, that's what causes it.
So it's not a gas, anyway.
It's not a gas in the sense that it's not like it's xenon or anything like that, no. It's particles. Particles, you know what I mean? So they don't see them. So you have to be kind of in the nighttime part of the Earth, but not too far south, like the Canaries or something like that. You won't see them from the Canaries. You have to be near the pole to see them, but not in daytime. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. They're illuminated by the sun, after all, right? The sun illuminates them. But the guys in the Arctic don't see them because it's daytime. So we win there for once, you know. They usually hug the horizon low. That was the most spectacular display I've ever seen. You couldn't miss it. It was just unbelievable, you know. And as the night went on, these ripples along here started getting higher and higher. When it was nearly literally up there in the sky. It wasn't down there, it went up there. And there was bands and everything, you know. So that was just amazing. Most not-lucent clouds tend to hug the horizon and stay way down, you know. So that was like something out of Star Trek, to be honest with you. On the other side of the scale, later on, earlier on that night before it got dark, I remember seeing, before over the brother's house, I saw this and I took a photograph of it. I said, that's only a contract. Is that one of these so-called fabled, not lucent clouds, you know? But looking back at it now, it is. It's not a contract. For once, it's going the wrong direction. It's going north. Most contracts go east-west in this part of the world, don't they? So that was before the other photographs, you know? So obviously it formed from that, maybe, you know? So yeah, so don't be fooled. If they're white and they're glowing and they've got ripples in them, they're not clouds. And that was done on 2 years later. If you keep an eye on the dates on these, right? They're all June, July. The odd one in May maybe, but all June, July. You see them this time of year, you know, which is when the June is top now, right? This is more typical of not loosening clouds. You see the dark, these are real, the normal clouds here, they're dark. They're silhouetted against the sunset. These are not loosening clouds here, and you see the odd star here and there, right? You see the bands and the ripple and the flaring, I suppose, for lack of a better word, right? They're bright enough, you know, if you're looking for them, you'll see them, okay? That it kind of developed into a bigger display, headed south actually, head towards the south, well, the northwest as opposed to just being north. And you see that, you know, the one thing about astronomy is because of the constellations, you can almost see shapes in anything, you know. And if I took a photograph about 15 minutes later, where is it? Oh no, hang on. There, that was the photograph 15 minutes later, and it's almost like you can try to see shapes in this, you know. When I saw this first on the computer, now I see shapes and stuff that, you know, it just makes me think I'm just a bit mad sometimes. I can almost see a dragon's head in that photograph. Can you see that? Yeah, there's a nostril there, there's the eye, there's the mouth, and there's like, you know, its mane if you want to think of that, you know. And I'm thinking, geez, this, and you could see, it wasn't photographed, you could see it with the eye. I was kind of going, this is nuts, you know. Are they all like this, you know? And
Give up the drink there.
oh yeah. So I was thinking, you know, but no, they're there, right? And we zoom in, you can see it there a bit better.
It's really, yeah, looks really like it.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I was thinking, that's just amazing. The shape didn't last long, but 10 minutes later it had kind of dissolved into a blur of whatever else, you know.
You see scales on it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, you know. Bonkers like. And this is one that Frank took, fair play, up in Bover, wasn't it? Yeah. This was in early June, at the start of the NLC season. So not just in clouds at that time of the year are going to be dim and faint and low to the horizon. So you see a northern sky glow here and some NLCs along here and some normal cloud on the horizon there, you know. And it looks like Perseus here, constellation Perseus, you know. That's a nice one. And that was another Bower shot on the 7th of June. That was later on the same night, wasn't it?
That was the morning.
Yeah. So this one here would have been like the sunset glow. That's the sunrise glow. That's further, you know, to the east. So I get some NLCs here. That was one of the all-nighters we did there that night. That was a long night. So yeah. And that was the shot that Frank got a few weeks ago. And you see him along here. So nice as well. You didn't process that too much though, did you?
No, that was literally exactly as I saw them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. If you'd been in a darker, if these lights weren't here, your eyes would have got more accustomed to the night, you know, the darkness, and these might look brighter to the eye. You know, if you want to look for these guys, try and get in front of the lights, not behind them. But for the image there, it's a nice effect, you know. So, that's another one you took there. When was that one?
That was 06.
06 was it? Yeah. So you had your white banding here on the horizon again. That was a pretty bright one.
Around the time, I think you said that you'd seen the very, very bright ones. That was that season.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I've never seen them as bright as that. That was taken with a film camera, and the settings weren't overly sensitive, so it was almost as you see it there. It was very, very white, very bright.
Anybody who's imaged with a film camera knows it's 25 times harder than a digital camera, because you don't know how to gauge your exposure really until afterwards you see the results, you know. Got any other questions or anything? No?
Thanks, Dave.